Welcome to Finding Certainty with your host and U.S. Army veteran, Patrick Laing. Over the next hour, you'll learn from Patrick and his expert guests how to attract more certainty into your business and your life. Now, here is your host, Patrick Laing.
Welcome to Finding Certainty. I'm excited about our interview today with my good friend and colleague, Tim Timboski-Campbell. Thanks for being here, Tim. I appreciate you being on Finding Certainty.
Patrick, thanks for having me, brother. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. You know, we get to talk a lot these days because we got our hands in several different projects together, but I appreciate you being on the show. I've been wanting to have you for some time, but you and I are both always running 100 miles an hour in hopefully in the same direction, but oftentimes in opposite directions, right?
This is true, right? This is true. Thanks for having me, Patrick. Appreciate the opportunity, my man.
Absolutely. You know, between business and community work and family and, you know, et cetera, it's just a lot going on, but it's good to see you, my friend.
Yes.
So, you know, on Finding Certainty, the show is focused on how we and others in our network and in our, you know, circle of influence are helping create more certainty in people's lives. We do that through our company, Certainty Management, our tech firm, Certainty Global. You know, we just launched a new company, Certainty Veterans, right? We're going to be helping veterans access their benefits and their back pay. And, you know, I'm excited about that. We talk a little bit about that. I know you have a big heart for giving back and paying forward. And we're going to talk a little bit today about a really cool award you just recently received, which was, I was very proud of you. You and your wife were recognized for what you guys were doing. But I always start out the show sharing two reasons why I've invited this specific guest. And if you don't know who Timboski-Campbell is, you might be the only person out there who doesn't. You know, he's I mean, I don't know if I have time to go through the whole list, but, you know, singer, songwriter, producer, composer, consultant. I mean, you're pretty much a serial entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
I know you've done a lot in your career. Probably one of the most fun things, and we can talk about that today, but it was just when you were your background singer with Bobby Brown and New Edition for several years, right?
Definitely a milestone. Yes, correct.
And then you were VP of development for Bobby Brown Productions for several years. And, you know, that's, I envy you, man. I think you must have had experiences and seen things that some of us just dream about, right? And so
just most high's favor, man. Just bless life, you know.
Well, it's all.
I just work hard, man. God gets all the honor, man.
That's right.
Just do the work.
It is
Thank
it's
man.
a God thing, right? Everything that happens in our lives for which we're grateful. I love it, and you're a good example of remembering that in your life. So, but anyway, so I always start out the show sharing two reasons why I've invited this specific guest. And I could just share one, but it's my show, so I decided I want to do two because there's usually more than one. You know, in Tim's case, and you know, he's known as Timboski by most of his friends and clients and so forth. But Mr. Tim Campbell, in his case, I wanted him to be on Finding Certainty because he has spent his entire career hustling and leading in any endeavor he does. And I'll tell you this, Tim, I've been so impressed with just how you take the bull by the horns, and you don't sit around and wait for things to happen. You get up and go and make them happen, and not just for yourself, but you're helping others to succeed. You're cracking the whip or lighting the fire under people who need maybe a little bit of support and encouragement, and you have this ability, this incredible ability, and I think it's a great certainty principle to mentor and support and encourage and inspire the people around you, right? And a huge compliment, because I've seen it firsthand since we've been working together, and I think you've been doing it your whole career.
Yes. Facts. Thank you, man. It just feels phenomenal to hear somebody say that, Patrick. And I'm gonna let you go ahead though, but I want to dive into that in the certainty veterans too so far. But go ahead.
We will dig deep in the next hour. The second reason though is I think you are, besides the fact that you're a hustler, right? And you refer to yourself as a serial entrepreneur. You're always looking for ways to bring value, right? And bless your clients and the people you work with. But I think the second reason I love you and just admire you so much is that you go the next level and you pay it forward. I mentioned this earlier. You're,
Yeah.
you're you're always looking for ways to give back and bless your community. So you have this mindset that is so ingrained in who we are as certainty management. Is that we want to do business, but we also want to do good, right? We don't just want to make income. We want to make a difference. And
Yes.
you're such a great example of that, Tim. I mean, I'm
Yes. Thank
telling
you,
you.
man. Thank you, brother.
So that's my kind of my soapbox starting out. Why you're here, other than the fact we've developed a good friendship, and I really appreciate you. But I just enjoy hanging out with you. Got to spend some time with you, last month when I was out in Maryland, and with you and your friend Bruno Mazzali, right, Dr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mazzali. That was
Yeah.
great.
That's correct. Yeah.
You're in
For
Harbor.
sure.
Is it Harbor City? Is that the name of
The National Harbor.
National Harbor? Right.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Had some nice seafood, and that was fun. That was a nice afternoon. But
Yes, it was.
so a lot of the time, this show is referred to as kind of at least part of it as a stroll down memory lane. I would love to hear a little bit about your story, how you became Tim Boski, right? How did you go from a young man and grew into this music superstar and this just an influencer like you are,
Mhm.
and landed that gorgeous wife of yours? And
That is.
you must have done something right growing up to get to where you are today and where you're headed. And so maybe tell us a little bit about just your story, if you don't mind.
Wow. Wow. First of all, thanks for all the accolades and the compliments, Patrick. I really appreciate it. I'm a guy from originally born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Um, just like majority, started off singing in church. My dad was a piano and keyboardist, and he was the Joe Jackson of the family, except for I didn't have the brothers. It was just me by myself. So I had two sisters, two baby sisters. Then
Yeah.
yeah, so I thank them for it now, but I was bitter for a long time. So like a bittersweet type of thing now. But started off in church, and my grandfather was actually a pastor and a bishop and a mason in the community in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he used to travel around the city of Milwaukee. Giving sermons at different churches, and my grandmother would be by his side at every church that they went to, and she would always make me sing, even when I didn't feel like it. He would get before he would get up to give his sermon. My grandmother would touch the microphone and she'd say, "Well, I'm going to have my grandson come up here and sing you guys happy, and sing a song for you all." So that's kind of how the ball got to roll and got started. Um,
Baptism by fire at a young age, huh?
Yes, and it's so funny, Patrick, because different pastors would come in and out of town, and they will all kind of say the same thing. It was real, real eerie. I was about 5 or 6, in between this 5 and 8 year old range, and they would prophesy kind of over my life and say, hey, it's something special about this kid, and he's different. He's not like the normal. He's not going to be able to get away with things that other people get away with. So, and this was happened several times. So I guess not to get religious or anything, or but it was put into the atmosphere, whichever way you believe. It was kind of at a young age.
Right.
So yeah, at a young age. So now, so to kind of answer your question, that's definitely part of it, a large role in to where I am today. So fast forward, I've
Can
started.
I interject one thing, Tim?
Huh?
I believe that personally, and it's okay if you get you wax eloquent, wax spiritual. I'm good. This is a faith based show, and so
Mhm.
I believe that God has a plan for us, right, for our life,
Indeed.
and I see His hand in our business, in my own life,
Yes. Right.
parenting. I mean, everything, right?
Yes.
I refer to it as divine choreography,
Mm.
and I think He plants these seeds in our path and mentors and opportunities, and
Yes.
some of us miss them, right? Some of us
Yes.
we look past them. We got our eye
Yep.
on another objective. We're looking past the mark. We're
Yep.
distracted by technology or whatever, and
Yep.
we miss those little opportunities to latch on and become who we can become. Now,
Agreed.
I think some may get more opportunities than others. Sure, that happens, but I think every one of us
Yes.
gets invitations that we either miss or we take
I
advantage
agree.
of,
I
right?
agree. 1 trillion%. You're definitely right. Because life can get in the way, and life can happen to where you're distracted. Like you said, you can miss out. You
Yeah,
know,
I really believe that. I call it divine choreography, and I just think that it
I
is an
love that.
acquired skill to listen and hear His voice, hear those
Yes.
promptings, recognize the opportunities that come, and jump on them or miss them. Right?
Yeah.
We all miss them at times. It's an acquired skill.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
We
a
get
part of
better
being
at it.
human. I call it, Patrick, running around a tree. You know, like a dog chasing his tail, with steadily circling, circling, and running and
Yep,
running and running, and missing out, distracted about, by things that's going on around you. You're just not paying attention because you're in a hurry, going nowhere fast.
100%.
Yes, you miss it. Yeah.
We've all done it, right? We also
Yes.
follow paths and go down directions that were probably not the right decision or wasn't a good fit, or maybe we got greedy, or
Yeah.
we were hopeful but it didn't work out, right? It's just cycles of life, right? But
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to
No,
just
you fine.
interject that.
It goes hand in hand, Patrick. It actually goes together. I'm glad you brought that up too, because I was getting ready to jump from 8 to 5, 5 to 8 years old, 5 to 8, and go into my teenage years when I started singing in a gospel group.
Yeah,
And the name of the group was New Creation. I was about
love that.
16 years old. Yeah, New Creation was a gospel group, and I was always nervous. That had the jitters singing. That is a thing to where your voice is trembling, and you got the shakes, and
Yeah, I've
I
been
went
there.
through yeah. I went through years of that. But one particular night while I was a member of New Creation, we sang at a gospel convention downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I had the lead on one song. And long story short, at the end of that song, I had a standing ovation, and from that part, at that point, I sang the people happy, and from that point on, not only did I know that's what I wanted to do, but B, the jitters was going away, the nervousness had left. It was bye bye.
You had
So
arrived.
yeah, I had arrived. I said, okay, this is it, and energy based. I think you and I agree to that. That everything is energy based. So just to have the energy reciprocated and see that people had a love, something that I was passionate about, and for them to embrace it was just so impactful in my life, man. And when you talk about missing the calling or the ride, so about a year or two later. I ended up I was in the streets, I was in the streets doing things that I had no business. And I actually caught up my first felony at the age of 17 years old.
Oh, no.
Yes. Marijuana, not none of the other stuff. But this
Remind
is
me to
when
tell you.
marijuana was huh?
Remind me to tell you my brother's story when we're done.
Okay. This is before marijuana was legal,
Yeah,
way
yeah.
before. I don't want to tell my age and give too much. But yeah, so I ended up catching the felony, man. I spent a couple days and a couple nights in jail. I
That's
got
a wake up
probation.
call, right?
Yep, I lucked up and got probation. But what people don't understand is, and I try to instill this in the youth today, is in the state of Wisconsin that year in January '97. I'll never forget. I caught my case February the 3rd of 1997, and I just told my age, I know, but uh, they ended up passing the law that you were a felon charged as an adult, and you were
Uh-uh.
a felon. So I will never forget the cop that arrested me that day. He said, "Oh," he looked at my ID. He said, "Oh, good for you. With the law display, you're gonna be tried as an adult." I don't know why I was trying from him, but look at me now, man. Just I mean, it all goes together. I mean, like you said, Patrick, we can all get sidetracked. That was definitely a sidetrack for me, and it was also a wake up call. Young and dumb, made some mistake, but so after that,
So
I
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna cut you off for a
come
second.
on.
When I was 16 years old,
Mhm.
I had this little bad habit of we called it kleptomania.
Kleptomania, you got to dissect that one for
I
me,
had a
Patrick.
shoplifting habit. It started with just a candy bar or something, and then grew
Mhm.
into a lot more. I was one of those kids who I couldn't walk into a store without walking out of something. Right? I'd do it
Okay.
for my friends. I'd say, "What do you want?" Okay, I'll be right back. Right?
All right.
And it was like a pride thing, like an ego thing. Like, you want a bowling ball? I'll go get you a bowling ball. Right? And
Hilarious.
I remember the day at 16 years old, I was walked out of Kmart in handcuffs, taken to the jail,
Wow.
had to call my mom, come down and pick me up. And literally, I didn't get a felony fortune. I was a juvenile, but I did get thrown in jail for the day, and she made me sit there all night, to her credit.
Yes.
And then well, maybe she didn't. That's how I remember it, but she probably wasn't that mean. But what she did do is we sat down and we we went through my closets and my drawers, and I just brainstormed as much as I could think of that I had ripped off from people. Right?
Wow.
And from source, and we wrote it all down, and she made me write letters to all of them and send them a check for how much I owed them, and say, if you want me to pay a price, do more, I will. And then she
Wow.
made me work it off in the garden for 3 years.
I
Like,
love
I
it.
was like 14, I think, when this happened, and then I did it for 2 or 3 years until I left to go in the army at 17. And so I've never
Awesome.
stolen anything since. But
Yeah, I know that's right.
it
Yeah.
was
Yeah. She taught you a lesson.
it was a definite lesson. And before I forget, I was going to say I love Wisconsin. By the way, one of my roommate in the army is from Wisconsin, and I've been there many times. And I
Nice.
love the music festival there, the Summerfest. That's
Summerfest. Oh yeah, that
You
is
know
a
that, I'm
thing.
sure. You
For
probably
sure. Yeah, that is a
performed there
thing.
for all I know. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, so
wow.
we all do dumb things as kids. My younger brother got I think he has the record for the longest car chase with cops uh, in Orem, Utah.
You mean like the high speed chase?
Yeah,
Really?
all over town. He got caught and he rolled the car, thrown in. Anyway, it's a whole story.
Are you serious?
It's funny. I give him a hard time. He tells the story as much as I do, so I'm not revealing anything. But he when he was a young kid, he had long, flowing, dark hair. My brother's Polynesian; he's Samoan, and long, dark hair looked like Eddie Van Halen or something. And
Mm,
the girls would braid it in class, and they loved his hair. But so one day though, he was in a car chase with the cops again on a motorcycle.
mm,
No shirt, no shoes, riding a motorcycle in shorts, doing wheelies down the road. And these cops chasing him. He didn't have a license. He was only 14 or 15. He
mm.
ditched the bike, jumped in a canal, floated down, got home. And then about an hour later, he hears the doorbell ring. And he looks out the curtains, and it's a sheriff.
Okay.
And this is the day he grabbed his hair and cuts off about this much hair. Comes
What
out,
a
hey,
way to
officer. Yeah,
improvise.
he's trying to hide, right, who he is. They
Right,
figured it out. His friend ratted him out, but he comes
mm,
out, hey, officer, what can I do for you? Right?
right.
He still got busted, and that's the day he cut his hair. So,
Hilarious. He tried to improvise. Well, he was
yeah.
on the fly,
But
huh?
I just say that to say this: you're not alone. We've probably done way worse, stupider things in my family than you even did. But anyway,
Yeah,
moving
yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's all good, man. It all goes together, man. It all shapes us into who we are. I agree with you, bro.
on. It
So
does.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So after that, man, my best friend in the world, his name was Kevin. He's actually my cousin. Ran into him at around 18, 19 years old. We're like second or third cousins, and he actually had a studio in his basement. And you know our aunts, will always say, you guys need to get together. He's a producer and a DJ. You're a singer, a songwriter. You guys need to get together. So Patrick, from the first night that we met, we spent every day together, literally like for 5 or 6 months. And
Nice. Nice.
during that time, he and I grew super, super close, man. And he actually taught me, that's how the music production and composition started. He actually showed me how to work the beat machine and showed me how to actually put a song together. I have the writing and the vocal part down, but as far as I didn't know what it took to put a song together. And
Right. Learn the
my cousin worked
mechanics and the
diligently.
science
Yeah.
of it, huh?
Right, exactly. Yep. So he showed me that, and we just had so many plans. He was my biggest cheerleader, and I say was because I went to Atlanta and got my first demo record deal with Elektra Records. And for those who don't know who Elektra Records is, it was the home of Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott.
Wow.
Yeah, the label is not in existence anymore. Sylvia Rome, she just stepped down from Epic Records, but that was the label that I think Mariah Carey was signed under that company too as well.
Wow.
Yeah, but a lot of that, man, we had a development deal. So when I went to Atlanta, my cousin Kevin and I had planned to go to a music conference later on that year, and I think he went to Circle City Classics in Indiana. That was a thing that people used to drive up to from Wisconsin. It happens yearly, and he left on a Friday. We spoke on Friday and we talked about this music conference that we were gonna attend. He's like, hey, cuz, I'm gonna register us in this conference, and I look forward to it. We got everything ready. I got my beats ready, and we got your songs, and we're gonna go down there and network. So Sunday came when he was supposed to return back to Milwaukee. So I was calling his phone all day and he didn't answer. Mind you, we talked every day for like 6 months and we are together all the time. I actually like had the key to his door, like when or he gave me the key to his car because we would spend long nights in the studio. So Sunday he didn't call. I got a call from my mom that night and she said Kevin passed away. So I said, whoa, no, that's sad. Kevin from our church. I'm like, wow, no. So she said, no, your cousin. Patrick, when I tell you, I mean, I still feel the feeling now. This happened in 1999.
Wow.
And I still feel a gut blow from that because uh, we spent so much time together. He instilled in me, he invested in me, he taught me so much. He was the person that I can confide in and wouldn't be judged, or you know what I'm saying? And he was a real, real friend. Not only my cousin, but he was a real friend and a mentor. And I miss him tremendously, man. But he showed me so much, man. And I'm sure he's up there with some pearly whites and smiling now and proud. But definitely was an impact for my life. I was around my 19, 18 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry for your loss, man. I know
yeah,
you'll see him someday, but
yeah.
that's that's terrible.
Yeah, massive heart attack, bro. 28 years old.
Really?
28, yeah.
I had a friend in high school who I played soccer with. We had a state champion soccer team, and
Hmm.
I played basketball as well. But I was actually better at soccer. I was a defender.
Really? You will never guess.
Yeah, yeah. People, you might be
Good for
surprised,
you.
but
Nice.
I had
You
this guy
still, you
named.
still got it?
Yeah, I'm out of shape, but I still I played a lot in Italy when I was over there and so
Awesome.
forth. But a friend of mine, his name's Nate Robb, and
Mm,
he was four wheeling with another good friend of our team in their Jeep, and it fell back and crushed him. And
mm,
his friend tried lifting it to get him out, went to get help. He came back and he was gone. And that
mm.
really hit all of us because he was such just like your cousin, right? He was such a incredible guy, full of energy, long dark
Yes.
hair. He just was always smiling, right?
Yes.
It was tragic because
Yeah.
and you feel that the rest of your life. I mean, you feel the separation.
Yeah, right. They say that time heals. I mean, it definitely. And actually, October 3rd marked 26 years that
Wow.
that happened, man, and it's still fresh. It's still fresh.
Well, we would
Yeah.
tribute this show to your cousin. Tell us his name again.
Yep. Kevin Big Howard.
Yeah, this show is attributed to him. That was
Yes.
this week. So
Yes.
again, I'm grateful for him because he helped make you into who you are, and I know we know you'll see him again one
Yes.
day.
For
But you
sure.
still feel that loss.
Yes. Yep.
So we're up against our break. We're going to do a quick, just about a 2-minute break here, and then we'll come back. We're visiting with Tim Timboski Campbell.
Hey, tune back in, everybody. Don't go far. Two
Don't
minutes
go
is not
away.
that
We got
long.
lots more to talk about. We got some cool things happening and some things coming up we want to share with you. So don't go away. Go grab a drink or something. Go to the restroom, and we will be right back.
Certainty Management can help create more certainty in your life with our deep discount health insurance options, even for 1099s, part-time employees, volunteers, and more. Pay less to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your team. Call 888-684-3122 for a free quote today. That's 888-684-3122. Visit us on the web at certaintyteam.com. That's Certainty, TEAM, like Mary.com.
If you're a nonprofit in need of funding, we can help. Certainty Management is a cost reduction firm that also helps churches, schools, sports teams, and other nonprofits raise unlimited zero-cost funding. Best of all, you don't have to sell anything or ask for donations. Call 888-684-3122 to learn more today. That's 888-684-3122. Visit us on the web at certaintyteam.com. That's Certainty, TEAM, like Mary.com.
You're listening to Finding Certainty with Patrick Laing.
All right, we're back. Thanks for not going anywhere if you're still here. Tim, it's always a pleasure, man. It's fun hearing a little bit of your story. And we were talking before about how God kind of has a plan for us, and He plants these gifts in us, and these desires, these hopes and dreams, and so forth and so on. I'd love to hear. I mean, what was it like, and how did it come about that you met up with Bobby Brown? You started singing with him. You guys toured all over for. I mean, how long were you? Did you actually do that? You obviously earned his trust and his respect because not only did you perform with him, but you went on to eventually become the vice president of Bobby Brown Productions, right? And so,
Correct. Yes.
So tell us kind of how you transitioned from 17-year-old felon to I'm just kidding.
No, I love it. It's tangible fact.
How'd you transition from singing in church in the gospel choir and then your cousin Kevin to working with Bobby Brown? I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So during the demo deal phase or development deals, what they call it, they don't do those anymore. It's like they go on the internet and find the hottest act, and then they, who's ever going viral, as they say. But this was a time when the record label, if they believed in you, they would invest dollars to develop and see what it would sound like with you around the professionals. So in doing that, I was awarded the opportunity to work with multi-platinum producers. You guys have Google or Chat GBT AI, Brian Michael Cox, Gucci Mane, the rapper, Teddy Bishop, Jazzy Faye, a lot of different big multi-platinum producers worked with them, and a couple years later, fast forward to answer your question about Bobby, what ended up happening was a friend of mine. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Sister Act 2.
Sure. Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know if you remember the guy, the little guy with the turban on his head that sang the "Oh Happy Day" song.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Ryan Toby. Great friend of mine. We've been solid for a
I
lot,
remember
many,
him.
many years. Yeah,
That's cool.
Ryan Toby, great guy. He actually he called and said, "Hey man, I was in Atlanta." He said, "Man, hey, New Edition consists of 6 members. You have Belle Biv DeVoe, which is Michael Bivins, Ronnie DeVoe, and Ricky Bell. That's Belle Biv DeVoe. Then you have the other 3 members, which is Johnny Gill, Ralph Tresvant, and Bobby Brown, which make all 6. So Belle Biv DeVoe was out doing their thing. Bob and Ralph and Johnny, they had solo things. So they decided to put together a group, a trio, and it was called Heads of State. So
Hmm.
Heads of State was holding auditions for background singers. So Ryan told me, gave me a call and said, "Hey, Tim, won't you come down and audition?" So I went to the audition. I ended up making the cut. Thank God I made the cut, and we had 2 days to learn Mr. Telephone Man's choreography, vocals, and everything. The tour was just it was we had to be quick on our feet, on our
Wow.
heels. Yeah, so I learned If It Is in Love. Again, you guys can look these songs up. If It Is in Love, and Telephone Man in 2 days flat. So fast forward
Good.
again, what ended up happening, we did a few shows with them. And Bob had a sound check, Bobby Brown. Something was going on with him in the band. There was some miscommunication. So he was frustrated. So he left the stage. And when he left the stage, he said, "Hey," he pointed to the background. He said, "Hey, guys, man, you guys come on with me." So we ended up walking off the stage. We followed Bobby off the stage, go to the hotel, have a little some dinner and eat or whatever. And that night of that show, their manager, Heads of State manager, called us to the back, and he said, "Hey, background singers, come here." So he said, "We're not going to pay you guys tonight." So we're looking at each other. We're like, "What do you
What?
mean?" Yeah, right. What? Right? So, like, no, you can't be serious. I thought it was a joke, actually, Patrick. It blew my mind. So I'm like, "What do you mean?" He says, "You guys left sound check with Bobby Brown. You didn't get permission from anybody. You guys just left. So you guys gonna get your money and your pay from Bobby." Right? So true story. So Bobby, so we went to Bobby, and they said, "Oh no, not only that, but your services are no longer needed."
Oh no.
Got fired that night.
Oh, gee.
Right?
Yeah, I've been there before too.
Yeah, got fired that night. So when we went to Bobby, he said, "Well, I could give you half." But he said, "I can give you half and I can give you opportunity." Okay. He said, "I'll be doing some solo shows again coming up soon outside of this. And when I get my solo tour up and running, I'll give you guys a call." So 1 year goes past, nothing. Year 2, I get a call from a friend of mine named Linda. She says, Bobby Brown's trying to get in touch with you." I said, "Really?" I thought he forgot. So she said, "No, he's trying to contact you." So she said, "Here's his number. Give him a call." So I called him. He said, "Tim," he said, "Man, I really like your voice." He said, "I like what you guys brought to the project." He said, "Man, I'm a man of my word. I got some. I want to fly you out to California for some rehearsals. I'm going out on tour, and I want to have you sing backup." So he's a man of his word, and that's
Wow.
how I landed the background gig for New Edition and Bobby.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you, if you had to describe him in 60 seconds, what would you say, other than being a man of his word? I mean, he's an incredibly talented artist. I grew up listening to Bobby Brown.
Super
Right.
talented, man. He's a beast. I mean, Usher, Chris Brown, he was that guy before all of them. What I will say about him, man, is he's the most strongest individual that I've ever met in my life. And
Strong
I've
in
come
what sense?
across, when I say strong, I mean, you got to think he lost his mom, his dad, Whitney Houston, all in like a 5 year run, like back to back to back to back to back. And he was able to keep his sanity and still go out and give a show and still be the king of stage and R&B in the midst of that, right?
Wow.
Then after that, Bobby Christina passed away, him and Whitney's daughter, right? Mind you, I was
Right.
around and there with him through all of this tragedy. And then after that, Bobby Brown Jr. passed away. Rest in paradise to my nephew, Bobby Brown Jr. He and I were super, super close. He passed away, I want to say 3 to 4 years ago. And I just seen Bobby about a month ago in Boston. I think I sent you that the video, Patrick, of them getting New Edition Way, the name, street named after them in Boston.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
saw
and
that.
so he's still wearing a smile. He's still, living his legacy, man, and living his life, and that's a lot, man. You can imagine losing one parent, let alone two, and your ex-wife and your children. That's rough. So, man, he's definitely a strong individual, man. He's a all around great guy. I mean, out of our 15-year run, I don't think maybe once or twice he's turned people down for taking pictures. He never says no to anyone.
See, that's so cool. I mean, I've heard of artists that are like that. Like Phil Collins is a good example. I mean, he just is great with his fans, and he's never
Yes.
has ego. Never, where others like I won't say names, but we know who they
Oh
are.
yeah, right. We both
They're,
is yeah.
they're just
Right.
it goes to their head, and
Yeah.
they lose sight, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's talk about what you're doing today, because you went from performing with Bobby Brown and New Edition. I would just love. I mean, I know you can tell stories all day long about that, and
Oh man.
then
I'll give you one. You want to hear one? Do we got time for
go
one?
ahead,
Okay. So we had a show in Nokia Theater in New York, right? My flight was delayed about 3 times. So on the fourth time, we had to leave the LaGuardia straight to the venue, right? And I had to get dressed in the taxi cab. This was before Uber and Lyft was even in existence.
Yeah,
I had to literally get dressed in the taxi cab on the way to the venue, and I made it just in time for prayer before we went to the stage. I think I think I might have missed a belt loop or something, Patrick. Right? So they're like, "Hey, tuck your shirt in, if the belt loop in." I'm like, "Yo, that's pretty good from just coming out of cab and
that's
just
right.
get yourself together." So yeah, that was a wild story. But I actually have footage of that. I have to get it to you, Pat. I have
I'd
footage
love
of
to
that
see
night.
that.
Yeah, I got footage of that night, man. But again, it's so many stories, man, and I'm just grateful to. That was a blessing, man. But I have to say, after that, before, because there was another impactful thing that happened in my life too, that I must mention. And every time that I get an opportunity to in the platform, I have to say it. So I don't know if you know this either, Patrick, but I think we did talk about it. But August 25th of 2006, I was on the way to a business meeting. I was living in Miami, Florida at the time, and I just remember leaving home, kissing my ex-wife at the time and my son. He was a little jit, 5, 6 years old at the time, and headed to this big meeting with this record executive from Warner Brother Records. When I got ran off the road, right? I was riding the Eddie Bauer SUV. I lost control.
Right.
Somebody hit me, and they kept going, right? So after they hit my bumper, whatever, I lost control of the vehicle, and the truck flipped over 5 times, and I flew like 30 or 40 feet. I went flying out of the vehicle into
Really?
into a ravine. I got ejected,
Oh my gosh.
and I was on the telephone with my ex-wife at the time, and she could hear somebody saying, "Hey, are you all right down there? Are you okay?" So it ended up happening, and mind you, I only know this story from the police report because I just remember, again, I just remember leaving the house headed to the meeting.
Yeah.
So I guess whatever person that the guy that was went into his trunk, grabbed a sheet. They came down to the ravine and picked me up and brought me to the side of the road. And when the ambulance arrived, they left,
They thought you were
and
dead.
they thought I was dead.
Oh, we just lost him. Hopefully he'll come back. It was quite the story. Tim Boski is alive today due to miracles. I've heard this story before, not these details, but I knew that um, he was in a serious accident. It was very close to passing on, and then he ended up having to go through quite a bit of recovery, PT and recovery to get back back on his feet. And so hopefully he can join us. I'll share this with you while we're waiting for him. Yes, today Tim is in a band called Public Announcement. They're actually really good. I've seen them perform, and he's got a concert coming up in Chicago. Let's see, I put the notes in here. To be exact, it's called the Galloween event. So it's kind of the gala combined with Halloween. It's October 25th. It's at Venue West in Chicago. That's at 221 North Pauline in Chicago, Illinois. So it starts at 6 p.m. If you're in that area, you want to see Tim perform, by all means, go see the Galloween event on October 25th. Another event that's kind of fun, I'm trying to figure out how, if I can get away to go do it myself, is he's actually going to be performing on a cruise on, it leaves from Miami. It's a Super Bowl cruise, February 4th to the 9th. I think it's Carnival, but don't quote me on that. If you're interested, reach out to us at certaintyteam.com. We can get you the information. But it's a Super Bowl cruise from Miami to the Bahamas. Tim and his team will be performing on that cruise. So looks like he's coming back here. Let me. He was there for a minute, and then he dropped off. So let's. Can you hear us, Tim? No. Okay, there he is. Let me. Hold on. Okay, you're back.
It says you're on the stage.
Well, yep. While you were gone, I was telling them about your upcoming events. I knew you'd be back, but
Okay,
we talked about the Galloween at Chicago and the cruise you're doing up in February. And yeah. I didn't know you were a February birthday boy. I'm a February. I didn't know if you knew that. My birthday is the 25th February. So.
Oh yeah, I'm January 22nd.
There you go. Pisces? Yep. Are you Pisces? Yeah.
Aquarius.
Well, we can't all be perfect, but
right. Here he is.
I'm just kidding. So you were saying, you were talking about your accident, and then
yeah, that was major, bro. I mean, from that point on, man, I knew once I had to learn how to read, walk, talk, everything all over again. Even rehabilitation from counting coins. I would count coins wrong in rehab. So
wow,
you guys are looking at a miracle, man. It's that right there was definitely a monumental moment to come out of something like that, man. So,
well, like I said, God has a plan.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't understand it. You survived, your cousin didn't. Why was that?
Wow, that's heavy.
I like to think that when someone, especially young like that, passes on, God had other work for them to do. I say, he missed them. He wanted them back. He's got something he wanted them to go work on. And on the other side, I firmly believe that.
Yes.
But, and I also say, I'll probably live to be 100 because it's going to take me a long time to get to the point where I'm ready to move on.
I know that's right, Patrick. I agree, brother.
Kevin was better than both of us, right?
Indeed.
So Indeed. I'm glad you're okay though, bro. It's
thank you.
You have a lot to still contribute, and speaking of contributions, congratulations on the award that you recently received. It was a Maryland General Assembly this official citation for you and your lovely bride. Just for what you've done in the community, the volunteer work you guys have done. I appreciated you sending me the pictures, and we put it on our website. And I know you've gotten other awards and recognition, and you have that heart. Like I was saying, it's not just about making money and being successful.
Right.
It's about leaving a legacy and contributing. you're
Yes.
so good at that, man.
Yes.
My hat is off to you for that.
Thank you,
So,
brother. Thank you, Patrick. And you know what? That's the one of the main things that drove me to certainty, for what certainty stands for, because I'm all for that. Like you said, man, I'm sure you can attest to this. So many times and so often we're consultants for others. We're a shoulder to cry on. We help people prepare their business. We give them ideas and they go off to become successful. And then we're still left trying to figure it out.
yeah,
So, the certainty family was just a total opposite. When I made it past my interviews and went through the process, each person that I talked to was kind. Shout out to Victoria Foster, and Jill and Frank, yourself. It was the love was reciprocated. I finally felt, out of my 25 years of being in business professionally, that I found a home to where it's the reciprocation was there. You know what I'm saying? Not only in business, but in love and opportunity. And my thing is, I've always wanted to be in a position to give others opportunity. Like you said, the community where bring smiles to other people's faces, whether it's through song, whether it's through a kind word, whether it's a joke. And you'll get to know me, Patrick. My fiance, she's like, he's crazy. I keep people laughing, man, no matter where
I've
where we
heard
are.
that.
I try to have a fun time, man. But over at certain getting back to certainty management, we're able to help nonprofits. I brought a couple nonprofits, and all and be impacting others' lives and build certainty for ourselves and feed my family. And
Yeah,
actually, Patrick, hats off to you, brother. I want to say thank you, and you don't give enough recognition and credit for who you are and what you do. You're a stand-up guy. You're the definition of a real boss, because you know why? A real boss puts others in position to make money and provide for their families, and you do just that. So, just as you give my accolades, I want to give you your roses and let you
uh,
know that we love and appreciate you too.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm constantly really blown away by the people that have been attracted to and are being attracted to our team. You hear me say this all the time, right? Just the caliber of the people, yourself included, right?
Yes.
Um, it's kind of exciting, right? And we've got some really cool things happen. You talk about helping nonprofits. Um, you know, let me talk about that for just a minute, because it occurred to us a little while ago that we could use what we're good at to make a difference, right? Not just make income, but make a difference. But this is the crazy thing, that when you start thinking like that, you start looking outward and say, how can we help students go to college and graduate debt free? How can we help those who have already graduated and have student debt to eliminate
Yes.
that student debt? I think you're the leader on our team for how many student loan people you helped
Thank
eliminate
you.
their loan, and
Yes.
as long as they have 25,000 or more, as long as they're out of school or have a Parent Plus loan, we can get it eliminated. We've seen
Yes, we can.
over
It's
a
been
quarter
proven. It's been
billion,
proven, everyone. I'm sorry, Patrick.
yeah,
Go ahead.
over a $250 million on track to
Yes,
be eliminated. Right? It's
absolutely. Yep.
exciting, and so
Mhm.
what we're doing for nonprofits, what we're starting to do for veterans. But it's interesting because you think that you have to give something up to give back, right? Like there's only so
Mhm.
much. There's this scarcity mindset. But it is just the opposite. The more you give, the more you try to
Yes.
do, it doesn't just become a ripple effect, it becomes a snowball. Like
Yes.
rolling down the hill, right? Becoming this avalanche,
Yep.
right?
That's facts.
So
Right.
it is most definitely a principle of certainty, is to look outward, right? And to give back, and you remember that if you're pointing a finger, you got four pointing back at you. Well, the
That's
same thing
it.
goes
That's
with
it, brother. Yes,
service, right?
indeed. For sure.
If you will lose yourself in the service of others, you're going to make more money than you ever imagined making, and you're going to
Yep.
make you're going to get more out of life than you ever imagined getting. So
Hmm.
anyway, I'll get off that soapbox.
No, you're
You
you're
know
you're
me,
you're
I love
right,
that
man.
topic.
And let me piggyback on that for a second. I'll give you this analogy this guy gave me. He said, while I was touring Bobby, he said, Tim, he says you can't receive anything with a closed fist.
I
He
love
says
that.
he says you have to open up your hand and give in order to receive.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's
I heard that. I forgot about that analogy.
yeah.
I heard that years ago. That is
Yeah, man.
really,
That
really
that's
good.
that stuck with me, man. I just love, like, it's coming that time again too. You know, the Thanksgiving and the holidays are coming around again. So my wife and I, when you talk about the citation, we get out and shout out to Wanda Durant, which is my godmother, my other godmother here, and Delegate Fennell out here in the state of Maryland. We go out and we give turkeys and food out to families. We'll get dressed and go and get bundled up and feed the homeless. We raise, we get toys for the Christmas time for the less fortunate. We have toy drives, and just to see those again, the way that we brighten their world and that smile and that little kid that gets that toy, or just that parent that gets that gift card or whatever it is, they're just so appreciative, man, and that just makes our day, man. We love to do it.
Yeah,
We're passionate about it. Yeah.
it's awesome. I saw the picture of you with Kevin Durant's mom.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was a great. That was a great day. Congratulations, man. We're really proud of you, and you
Thank you, brother.
deserve to be recognized.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So we are up against the end of the show. I want to say one plug. You mentioned the word reciprocity, right? You talked about reciprocal effect, and
Mhm.
the very first show I ever did for Finding Certainty, I interviewed Frank Hellring, because he's
Yeah.
the one he was a host who invited me to look at it, and I became a host myself, and so I invited him back as my first guest, and that's his favorite topic, right? We talked about reciprocity, and so
Yes.
I appreciate you being on the show today. You're a great example of that, Tim. We could do a whole nother show and have you tell more Bobby Brown stories and New Edition stories, and now public
Hilarious.
announcement stories, I'm sure. I mean, I
Yes.
think what you said about when when you got that standing ovation and the crowd just loved what you did, and that was like your breakthrough moment, right? No more jitters. You
Hmm.
realize this was your purpose in life. This is what you wanted to do.
Absolutely.
I admire that and I respect that. And I even envy it a little bit, because so many of us, I think, are looking for that purpose, right? They're looking for that aha, that moment, that epiphany when
Yeah.
there's no more fear, right? It's
Yeah.
you're 100% confident, and so that's pretty cool. You got a last thought you'd want to share with the crew or with the listener before we drop off?
Before we hop off, I have a saying, and I'm actually going to resuscitate it and bring it back. And it goes a little like this: how can you cross the finish line if you stop running? That's all I got. No matter what, you're gonna be bumps and bruises along the way. You might fall, you'll get up, but if you quit, you can never finish the race. So, no matter what it is, whatever dreams and aspirations and goals that you have in life, how can you cross the finish line to that if you stop running? So, everybody just keep going and love on each other.
100% agree with you, man. I always say you stumble, you fell forward, right, and pick yourself back up.
Yes, absolutely, brother.
We've been visiting with Tim Boski Campbell. He's an icon and a good friend, and I appreciate you being on the call here. If you want to learn a little bit more about him, you can go to iamtimboski.com and check
Yes.
out his website. And we got a meeting to get to, so
We'll see everybody later. Thanks again, Patrick.
you betcha, man. I appreciate you.
Blessings, everybody. Peace.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode of Finding Certainty. We hope you've gained some more insight into how to create more certainty in your own business or nonprofit. Join us next week for another taste of the Certainty Experience. Until then, we wish you greater certainty in all that you do.